We're taught from a young age that family is everything, that no matter what happens, no matter how they treat you, you must forgive, you must stay, you must endure. But what if that loyalty is hurting you? What if love is being used as a weapon? What if the people closest to you are the ones keeping you from becoming who you truly are? Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists in history, understood this silent struggle. He didn't just explore the mind. He uncovered the hidden forces within families that keep us trapped. Guilt, shame, emotional manipulation, and unconscious wounds passed down like heirlooms. Jung didn't say, cut people off. He said, see clearly. And once you see clearly, you cannot unsee. This video is not about rebellion. It's about self-respect. It's about recognizing the unacceptable behaviors, even from those we love most, and having the courage to say, this is not love. This is not okay. Not anymore. 1. Emotional manipulation. They say they love you, but that love comes with conditions. If you really cared about me, you'd do this. You're hurting me by living your own life. You're so selfish. It starts small, subtle guilt trips, dramatic reactions, unspoken rules. But over time, you begin to shrink. You question yourself. You silence your needs just to keep the peace. Carl Jung called this psychic possession, when another person's unresolved emotions take root in your mind and control your actions. Often, this isn't done consciously. The parent or family member may believe they're helping you, but beneath it lies a refusal to face their own pain. And so, they try to manage it through you. You become the emotional caretaker, the therapist, the scapegoat, or the savior. But none of those are your roles. You were not born to carry the emotional burden of another adult. If you tolerate emotional manipulation, you stay trapped in someone else's unconscious patterns, never free to write your own story. Recognizing this is the first step. You don't have to hate them, but you do have to stop enabling the cycle. 2. Suppression of your true self. Don't talk like that. Why do you always have to be so different? You're embarrassing us. Sometimes, the most painful rejections don't come from strangers. They come from the people who raised us. They don't yell. They shame. They mold you into what they think you should be, while slowly erasing who you actually are. Carl Jung believed that every human being is on a path toward individuation, the process of becoming whole, authentic, and truly themselves. But this path is often blocked by collective expectations, culture, religion, tradition, and yes, even family. Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But what happens when your family sees that true self as a threat? Maybe you think differently, dress differently, choose a different career, or simply have a different soul. They try to shape you into an image that fits their comfort zone, because your freedom reminds them of their own fear. But here's the truth. You are not here to be a mirror for someone else's comfort. You are not here to live a life on someone else's script. You are here to be whole. And anyone, family included, who demands that you dim your light does not truly love the real you. They love the version of you that makes them feel safe. And that is not enough. 3. Constant criticism, disguised as concern. It's for your own good. I just don't want you to make a mistake. You're too sensitive. Some family members cloak their cruelty in the language of love. Their words cut deep, but they wear the mask of concern. They call it honesty. They call it care. But it never feels like either. Carl Jung warned us about the shadow, the dark, unconscious parts of ourselves we refuse to acknowledge. And here's the hard truth. People who constantly criticize you are often speaking to the parts of themselves they've disowned. When they say, "You'll never succeed doing that," they may be echoing their own failure they never made peace with. When they say, "You're not strong enough," they may be revealing their own fear of being powerless. But instead of healing, They project. They take what's broken in them and place it on you. And if you're not aware, you'll start believing that voice. You'll call it truth. You'll call it home. Jung believed that projection is one of the greatest barriers to self-awareness. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. But when that irritation turns to constant criticism, it becomes a weapon. You don't owe anyone access to your mind, your dreams, or your heart, especially when they only use it to tear you down, even if they say they're just being honest. You can love someone deeply and still reject the roles they try to force on you. The failure, the disappointment, the one who's never enough. You are not a canvas for someone else's shadow. 4. Guilt as a tool of control. You never call. After everything I've done for you. If you leave, it'll break my heart. This isn't love. This is guilt, wrapped in affection. It's not about connection. It's about control. Carl Jung understood how powerful guilt can be, especially when it comes from those we feel we owe our lives to. Parents, siblings, elders. It feels like betrayal to say no. It feels like abandonment to create distance. But guilt is not the same as morality, and guilt is not the same as love. When someone uses guilt to manipulate your choices, they are asking you to abandon yourself in order to comfort them. But the cost is enormous. You lose your sense of direction. You hesitate before every decision. You ask yourself, will this make them upset? Instead of, is this right for me? And over time, you begin to live someone else's life, a ghost of your own desires. Breaking this pattern doesn't make you ungrateful. It makes you awake, because true love does not punish you for growing. True love says, I want you to be free, even if it's uncomfortable for me. The ones who guilt you into staying small may never change, but you can. Before we continue, please take a moment to like this video. Your support helps more people discover these ideas. And if you're enjoying this journey into the mysteries of the mind, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Now, back to the video. 5. Verbal and emotional abuse, normalized as that's just how they are. They didn't mean it. It's just how they talk. That's just their personality. How many times have you heard this? How many times have you said it? To yourself? Carl Jung understood that what we normalize in childhood, we carry into adulthood as familiar. And what's familiar often feels like love. But here's the truth. Being constantly insulted, shouted at, dismissed or ignored is not love. It's abuse, even if it's not physical, even if it's just words. When someone repeatedly crosses your emotional boundaries, shames you, gaslights you, mocks your pain, and then expects forgiveness without change, they're not loving you. They're controlling you. Jung spoke often of the wounded inner child, the part of us that continues to seek love in the places we first felt pain. And so, many of us keep returning to relationships that echo those wounds, not because we're weak, but because we were never taught what real safety feels like. And here is the terrifying part. The longer you stay in these dynamics, the more likely you are to believe you deserve them, that this is just what love is. But Jung would tell you otherwise. He would tell you that the most courageous act is not to endure more suffering. It's to break the cycle, to say, I see what this is. I will not inherit this pain, and I will not pass it on, even if it's family, even if you love them, even if they never understand, because your peace is not a betrayal. It's a beginning. You are not selfish for protecting your peace. You are not cruel for setting boundaries. And you are not broken for walking away from people who refuse to see you clearly. Carl Jung's work reminds us the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. But that's where healing begins. Not in fixing others, not in waiting for apologies that may never come, but in saying, I deserve better, even if no one ever told me that. Because respect, safety, and love are not negotiable. Not anymore. So here's your permission to stop shrinking, to stop explaining, to stop tolerating. You were never meant to live in someone else's shadow. You were meant to become whole. As we've seen today, Carl Jung's wisdom reminds us that our mental and emotional health is sacred. No one, even family, has the right to manipulate, diminish, or control who we truly are. If this message spoke to you, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this truth, and subscribe to the channel for more videos that empower your mind and spirit. And in the comments below, I'd love to hear from you. What has been your experience with setting boundaries in family or close relationships? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.